Welcome friends. Today we are going to study mangrove ecology. A mangrove ecosystem is the interface between terrestrial forest and aquatic marine ecosystems. Mangroves are the trees and shrubs that grow at the interface between land and sea in tropical and subtropical regions of the world. Mangroves are the unique colonizers of the intertidal zone. The physical environment of the intertidal zone is characterized by tidal changes in water and salt exposure as well as variable degree of oxygen and nutrient availability. Mangrove plants have evolved a specialized trait which have arisen from their adaptations to these conditions. These traits are important because they have allowed mangroves to survive on earth for thousands of years to form the complex ecosystem we see today. Additionally, these traits ultimately influence forest-wide properties of structure and function. Mangroves have developed different types of adaptations. Adaptation to flooding, adaptation to nutrient limitations, reproduction and dispersion, adaptation to salinity, etc. Now we are going to study each one by one. Adaptations to flooding. Mangrove are shrubs and trees which edge the sea and are regularly flooded by the tide. The magnitude of waterlogging depends on their vertical position on land as well as the amount of freshwater input they receive from rainfall, rivers, groundwater and surface runoff. This regular waterlogging presents a major challenge for the growth of mangroves. As a result, mangroves have evolved some peculiar structural and chemical adaptation. In case of any plant, buried roots typically absorb oxygen from the small air spaces in the soil. However, this is a problem from mangroves because mangroves grow in soil which is low in oxygen. Low oxygen levels can lead to reduced plant growth and production of phytotoxins via microbial activity. So, it is essential to plant so that carbohydrates can be converted to an energy through an aerobic respiration. But regular flooding results in anoxic condition, that means oxygen deficiency. H2S, which is produced, is a strong phytotoxin and it is produced by the action of soil microorganisms which can inhibit the aerobic respiration. Mangroves have developed special adaptations like aerial roots. So, whenever we walk near the seashore or in estuarine areas, we observed that root of mangroves are spread on the soil. Generally, the roots are hidden underground. But in case of mangroves, we observe that roots often branch and arch into the air. Sometimes even they stick out from the mud. Mangroves show three types of roots. Stilt root. These are supportive and allows the tree to stand upright. Then second thing, that is nematopores. These are also called as roots which extend upwards from the subsurface of roots and the surface of it is covered with lenticels through which they can take oxygen which is present in a soil. Buttress roots. Large, shallow roots that extend around all sides of the tree, providing structural support. And knee roots, these are similar to nematopores, which help in aeration of the whole root. So these are the three types of roots. which are useful for a mangrove plant to adapt in a salty water as well as water which is deficient in oxygen. So, mangrove have developed a special kind of tissue that is called as a erenchyma. Erenchyma plays very important role in the exchange and storage of gases. It is a spongy plant tissue with large air spaces that may comprise more than 50% of the total volume of roots anchored in mud. So, erenchyma is a spongy plant tissue which is present in such a type of roots. If we see adaptations to flooding, then it has been observed that frequent waterlogging is the only one of the challenge that mangrove plant must contend with. Even salinity level in the mangrove environment can range from almost fresh water to nearly 3 times the salinity of seawater. So, in the next section, we are going to explore how mangroves adapted to the fluctuating and high salinity concentration in the intertidal zone. So, second adaptation which mangrove have developed is adaptations to salinity. Evolution in mangrove plant has led to several adaptations and features which allow for growth under this condition, including extensive aerial root system, lenticels which are present on nematopores, and internal erenchyma formation. Then the next adaptation is nutrient limitation. So, the nutrients that mangrove require for the growth are controlled by several environmental factors. Mangrove forests are one of the most productive forest types in the world. Mangrove forests are very low in nutrients, especially nitrogen and phosphorus. So, mangrove have evolved special traits and adaptations. Which are those we are going to study? So, these are the different types of adaptations which the mangrove plant has developed for its adaptation into high saline low oxygen soil. First thing, that is, the leaves of mangroves are evergreen, or mangroves are called as an evergreen plant. It leads to smaller nutritive investment in new leaves and low nutrient loss due to long lifespan of leaf tissue. So, this is one of the most advantageous adaptation. Then, mangrove leaves are sclerophyllous leaves. Sclerophyllous leaves, that means this leads to leaf longevity and nutrient retention. Because of saturation, leaves takes longer to decompose and are subject to lower rate of predation by animals. Next adaptation is that slow growth rate or low nutritional requirement. Mangrove grow in an ammonium rich soil and therefore it requires least energy investment than nitrogen uptake. Normal plant require nitrogen. So they require high amount of energy to absorb nitrogen, but mangrove require least amount of energy. So they save energy. Then next adaptation is efficient metabolic process as well as high photosynthetic nitrogen use efficiency. Ratio of photosynthetic capacity to leaf nitrogen content, that is called as a high photosynthetic nitrogen efficiency ratio. Mangroves have high photosynthetic nitrogen efficiency ratio. Even they have high root to shoot biomass ratio. Mangrove absorb nutrients through their roots, investigating more carbon in root production in relation to shoot. Therefore, there is a high root to shoot biomass ratio. The most important adaptation for nutrient limitation is nutrient recycling. In order to maximize nutrient retention, mangroves have ability to absorb the nutrients from dying leaves before they age and fall. So, mangrove plant has developed different adaptive traits. These are some of the traits. Then another adaptation is that reproduction and dispersal. Establishing new plants in unstable soil that are regularly submerged by tidal action presents unique evolutionary challenge. Most mangrove species exhibit a specialized strategy for reproduction that is called as a viviparity. A viviparity is a unique adaptation to shallow marine environment. So, knowledge of these processes is very important for understanding landscape level pattern in forest structure. Even pollination of mangrove depends on both self and cross pollination mechanism for their reproduction. In most of the mangroves, germination, that is the process by which plants emerge from seeds and begin to grow, takes place while the embryo is still attached to the parent tree, and this type of reproduction is called as a vivipary. This is the unique adaptation of mangrove to shallow marine environment. So, these embryos of mangroves remain attached to the mother plant for complete year, and then the tree releases that embryo. Then it is called as a propagule. That embryo is called as a propagule. Propagule is nothing but the growing plant that are buoyant and able to carry out photosynthesis. Actually, true vivipary is very rare in terrestrial plant. It is quite common among the mangrove genera. 6 of the most flood and salt tolerant mangrove families show this type of viviparity. This is the propagule of mangrove plant. So, if we observe the propagule dispersal, then most mangroves rely on a process called as a hydrochory. The embryos of true viviparous species remain attached to the mother plant for complete 1 year. Then it is released, then it is called as a propagule. So, most mangrove propagules show the process of hydrochory. That means the propagules do not disperse uniformly and the distance they travel varies from species to species. For example, in case of Avicennia marana, propagules only float for few days, while propagules of another species, that is Rhizophora or Laguncularia, that can remain buoyant for several weeks, and therefore the latter of the two species will have offsprings that can be expected to settle further from the parent plant. So, generally propagules travel a small distance. So, generally same type of species plants develop in a particular area and not far apart. So, this process is called as hydrochory, in which propagule do not disperse uniformly and the distance travel varies from species to species. But this type of reproduction is advantageous and important for mangroves. So these propagules are vulnerable to harsh environmental condition and predation by animals. High level of predation have significant innate effects on population dynamics and the regeneration of mangroves after a disturbance. So propagules may suffer high mortality before they have a chance to settle and establish. There are different predators, especially crabs and insects are the major consumers of propagules. Crab can almost eat 100% of propagules in a given area. So such a high level of predation likely have significant effect on the population dynamics and its regeneration. Crabs and insects are the major consumers of propagules. Shading, orientation of the seedlings, flooding and soil fertility can all have significant impact on the survival of young mangroves. So mortality is not restricted to propagule. Mangroves are also vulnerable during their establishment and easy early growth. During these periods, mangrove may die because of failure to establish, while seed is still able to germinate, predation and dehydration. So if we see the conclusion of reproduction and dispersal, most of the mangrove species rely on viviparity for their reproduction. So they release dormant seed instead of germinating seeds. The young plants released by mangroves are called as propagules. So there are different types of adaptations. Some salinity tolerance is there, enhanced nutrition, buoyancy and capability of quickly rooting. So that's why propagules are dispersed away from the parent tree. The process is called as a hydrochory, and after dispersal, mangrove become established by settling in the mangrove substrate. Next is adaptation to salinity. So excess salt is always harmful to plants, and mangroves have evolved special mechanism to cope with the high salinities. There are two major challenges: toxic level of ions and water deficiency in cells. Mangroves are able to maintain high rates of photosynthesis and growth under saline soil conditions because they are able to use water efficiently. There is a modification and arrangement of leaves, and salt excreting glands are present. Specialized stomatal anatomy is there. Increased energy and allocation to root growth, so they can remove toxic level of ions efficiently, as well as they can fulfill the water deficiency in cells. Thank you.